Age is just a number, they say. But what happens when that number feels like an insurmountable barrier? What happens when every glance at the person across from you feels like a reminder of what separates you instead of what brings you together? Sometimes the years between us feel less like time and more like a constant reminder of how different we truly are. The heart wants what it wants, they say. But when you're with someone whose years of experience have shaped them in ways you haven't yet known, you can't help but wonder if your feelings are strong enough to overcome the distance time has carved between you. Is love really enough to bridge the gap? Or does that gap widen with each passing year? Age differences can't be erased with affection. Sometimes they only become clearer with time. And every day you spend together, you wonder if you're just pretending everything is fine. I've always believed that love doesn't have rules. But now, facing the stark truth of our age difference, I can't help but question everything I thought I knew about love. Is it really fair to ignore the complexities age brings? Or should I listen to my inner voice that says this might not be as simple as it seems? How do you navigate a relationship when your partner's experiences are miles ahead of yours? When they've lived through things you haven't yet even dreamed of? It's one thing to love someone, but it's another to feel like you're on different paths in life, just waiting for the gap to become too wide. I wonder if the age difference is the reason I feel like I'm constantly playing catch up. Or maybe it's because I'm too young to understand the weight of the experiences that have already shaped their world. There's a certain discomfort in not knowing if this difference will eventually break us apart or bring us closer. The idea of love transcending all boundaries sounds beautiful, but the reality is much more complicated. The gap in age brings with it differences in mindset, lifestyle, and priorities, making it harder to truly feel connected in ways that matter. I keep telling myself that love should be enough to overcome this age difference. But as time goes on, I start to realize how much we truly are in different stages of life. What once seemed like a small gap now feels like an unbridgeable distance. In the beginning, I didn't mind the age gap, but now every conversation, every experience shared reminds me of how far apart we are in life. It's like I'm still at the start of a journey they've already completed. Every time I look into their eyes, I see someone who's lived a life that's so different from mine. Sometimes I feel like I'm trying to catch up, to grow into a person who can match their experience and wisdom. There's a rawness to age differences that isn't always apparent at first. It's not just about the numbers, It's about the difference in the way we see the world, the way we react to situations, and the way we want to live our lives. I thought I was okay with the age gap. After all, love is supposed to conquer everything, right? But as I sit here, pondering what I truly feel, I realize how difficult it can be to overcome the distance created by years of different experiences. I'm constantly torn between feeling that this relationship is something beautiful and feeling that maybe, just maybe, the gap is too wide for us to ever truly be on the same page. It's easy to ignore the reality of our age difference when you're swept up in the rush of love. But when things settle and the dust clears, you're left wondering if the gap between you and your partner is something that can ever truly be overcome. There are days when I'm completely comfortable with our age difference, and then there are days when it feels like the weight of it crushes me. It's confusing and complicated, and I'm not sure how to find peace with it. We are two people from different worlds, and while love may have brought us together, the age gap is a constant reminder of how different those worlds truly are. The question I'm left asking is it enough to make it work, or will it always stand between us? In the early stages, I believed we could be the exception to the rule. But now, as we navigate the complexities of life together, I can't ignore the fact that the difference in our ages is becoming harder to overlook. Sometimes I feel like I'm still learning about who I am, while they've already figured out who they want to be. That difference in experience makes me wonder if we can ever truly see eye to eye on the important things in life. I used to think that love would make everything else fall into place. But now, facing the reality of our age difference, I see that it's not that simple. The gap isn't just a number, it's a presence that affects everything.